Hello, lovely people. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing fine, and I really do hope you're doing well. My name is Nwadiutochats. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. But if you keep coming back, you're much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, it's back to school season. So I just want to share a tip that will help our children do better academically. Every child has the ability to learn. Every child has the ability to do well. As long as they have learned certain things before, then they can do it again. Yeah, we might say it's different, but it's actually the same thing. All we need to do is to pay attention and to help them through. Now, this is where our jobs as parents come into play. Yeah, I know that point where you are wondering, how can I send my child to school and yet you people will give them homework and assignments that will keep me busy also? I paid you, do the work. If not, pay me part of the money so that I can do part of your work. But we cannot cut off our roles as parents and teachers in the life of our children. Teachers can only do so much compared to how far our children would go if we contribute our own quota to teaching our children. When our children are younger, when they are of a lower age, it seems easier, but it is different when we go to high school, and then it is totally different when we go to the university. So in high school, it is assumed that children should be bold enough to open their mouths to say, I do not understand what you mean. In primary school, elementary, it might be, we might say they might not be able to express themselves that much, but in high school, we are hoping that that child should be able to express themselves. But sometimes that's not the case, because it's either that child is shy and doesn't want to be embarrassed by saying, I don't understand, and wondering, will my friends or my classmates make fun of me? So that child will just decide not to say. Or sometimes we just assume that we know it. Is it not this thing? By the time I read it, I will know it. This is where we come in. Whether your child is in elementary, that's primary, or your child is in high school, or your child is in the university, we have a role to play. When they're in primary, you're like, okay, I can teach them to read and write. Then when they go to high school, you're like, I don't understand this chemistry and physics thingy that you're bringing to me. But that's not our position. Our position is not to know the work. I mean, if you know the whole algebra and all that, it's an added advantage. But even when you do not know it, your part to play now is to ensure that your child has the right level of understanding, has focus, bold enough to ask questions, and deploy the skills he has for learning. Everybody has the ability to learn. You have a way that you learn something. You as the parent listening to this, or maybe you're a teenager listening to this, there is a certain way in which you learn. So that way that you learn is what is necessary now for you to be able to elicit your child's own. Try to understand how your child learns. In school, they might not be able to do that with him, but at home, this is where you now play the part. You realize that in school, when a little child is being taught 1, 2, 3, 4, that child might not get it. But when you go outside to the sand and you're writing number 1 on the ground, that child picks it up better. So you are beginning to see how your child learns or how your child understands stuff. So that child might be more visual or might be more kinesthetic, wanting to feel it. I want to feel it, I want to touch it, I want to know it. Don't just say it to me. When you say it to me, it's not working. So you know how your child learns. Some other children, they need to see a video. They need to see something done and see it play out. I, for one, I was a science student, but chemistry was a serious issue for me. Physics was better because when the teacher finished teaching it and he says this could be found in your fridge or in the bonnet of your car, it was easier for me because I'm like, I could relate it to physical things. But when you are not telling me chemistry and you're talking molecules and gases and atoms, and I'm looking at you and I'm wondering, where can I find it? How can I see it? Where can I touch it? So it was difficult for me to put it all together. But the moment I was able to find a textbook that had 3D pictures of these things, it was like boom. I had the largest level of clarity ever to understand chemistry and to pass it. So we all have different ways that we learn. How does your child learn? So this session, this term, this semester, we want to be more intentional to really help our children make good grades. So we wouldn't leave it all to the teachers, and the teachers also wouldn't leave it all to us. It is a synergetic relationship. It is the point where we come together as one and try to help that child grow. So that when you are going to the teacher to discuss, you are going there to make some serious contributions that will help teacher and parent help that child. So not necessarily going and say, my child is not doing so well, my child is not doing so well. Okay, your child is not doing so well, I'm teaching. He doesn't say he does not understand. Okay, what do you want me to do? I should break his head and put it in, or I should always pick on him in class after I say a certain thing. I should always say, Jide, do you understand? That child is going to feel really bad that why is this teacher picking on me? So the child wouldn't want you to do that. So what you will prefer that you do is that as parents, be patient with us, understand with us, try to watch us and know, think, sit back and think. As teenagers, we can have conversations with you. We're not little children that might not understand what it is that you're saying. So you want to sit down with us and you want to ask us certain questions. How did you learn? Oh, you're so good at, you say it. How did you learn how to do this? What happened when you learned to do this? So you are trying to understand how does this child learn? Does he need to only hear? Does he need to feel it? Does he need to see it? How does he learn? By the time you are able to know these things, then you are helping your child. And when the child writes an exam, boom, the child is doing well. This is a very great tip that you will want to put into action this term and for the rest of your child's learning life. Thank you very much for listening into this video. If you love this video, do not forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up for me and subscribe if you have not done so already. I'm going to be seeing you all in the next one. Bye-bye.